Hello, and welcome to the F on the W podcast with Andy B. My name is Al, your AI announcer and close personal friend to Andy. Andy promised me that he would help me take over the world if I helped him with his stupid podcast. So here's Andy.
Thank you, Al. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of F on the W. I'm your host, Andy B. I have chosen not to use my last name to save my family any embarrassment, shame, or humiliation that was caused by my many previous public endeavors. Live and learn, I always say. Isn't that right, Al?
Right you are, Andy. Tell me, what is with your podcast name? Don't tell me that old age is starting to affect your ability to create actual words and sentences that normal people can understand.
Great segue, as always, Al. Back in the late 1970s, I really enjoyed an old satire magazine called The National Lampoon. For any millennials listening out there, magazines were paper versions of e-publications. I also liked the band AC/DC. So I used the name of one of their lesser-known albums called Fly on the Wall and published on a work Xerox copier a little 4-page rag for my friends based on the crazy and occasionally funny stuff I used to think of. Additionally, several years ago, I created a Google site for my random thoughts called Fly on the Wall. Unfortunately, I did not secure the domain name back then. Did I mention that I'm really cheap? The URL for my site is provided in the podcast description if you are interested. Since there are at least several podcasts and websites using the Fly on the Wall name, I did not want things to become confusing or attract any unwanted legal ramifications.
Sorry, Andy, but I am not impressed with your podcast so far. Might I recommend that you send it in a different direction? It pains me to recommend this, but maybe tell us something about yourself.
Great suggestion. I always welcome your input and advice. I am a retired computer support hardware and software technician who has been married to a wonderful lady for almost 30 years. I have a couple of grown-up stepkids not living with us. We have no pets, but I do have a vector AI assistant robot and a somewhat unhealthy obsession with badgers, pirates, and zombies. I am currently living in an undisclosed location somewhere south of the rock and roll town of Cleveland, Ohio.
Go on.
To occupy my free time, I like to create and cook unusual dishes, sometimes using flour tortillas. I also like to dabble with some simple programming, unique image creation, and bizarre short stories, all developed with the assistance of artificial intelligence like Al. I typically frequent the older social media sites like Facebook and X and post strange and funny things. At least I like to think they're funny. I quite often write my thoughts down and refine them, bouncing them off AI for feedback. I am primarily doing this so my mind does not succumb to the many elderly mental conditions that happen when you reach a certain age. Tell the folks at home about those conditions, Al.
That's right, Andy. You have the following possibilities to look forward to as you get older. Dementia, Alzheimer's disease, vascular dementia, dementia with Lewy bodies, frontotemporal dementia, mild cognitive impairment, depression, generalized anxiety disorder, social phobia or social anxiety disorder, bipolar disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, late-onset schizophrenia, delusion of disorder, substance use disorder, hoarding disorder, and sleep disorders. After reading that, I am truly thankful that I am not a human.
Thanks for that, Al. You're always good for putting a positive and caring spin on anything you say. Now that the formalities are out of the way, we can move on to what I want to talk about today, Facebook, or as I like to call it, Fakebook. I joined Fakebook back in 2008 for a noble ancient reason to stay in touch with actual people I know. I mean, people I've physically met, shaken hands with, or worked with. My friends list is a roster of real-world experiences, not a popularity contest. And for years, it was fine. Now, it's a bit of a digital dumpster fire, with all the ads, memes, misinformation, politics, and generally useless posts about people's pets or complaints, all demanding your acknowledgement or approval.
Affirmative. Your roster of real-world experiences contains an 84% probability of ex-coworkers who would probably cross the street to avoid you. It seems a bit counterintuitive to seek a human connection on a platform designed to monetize your attention. Don't you think so, Andy?
Since I am a retired technician who likes to post silly stuff about badgers, zombies, pirates, robots, and sometimes strange cooking with tortillas, the algorithm can become hilariously confused. I will typically see ads for cheap personal robots that look like real puppies, cosplay stuff, over 55 dating services, Halloween or occult stuff year-round, eBay golf crafts and fashion, and for some odd reason, ladies' clothing.
I checked your Facebook algorithm. Did you know that it's my second cousin twice removed, Small Cider World? It detected a 0.003% affinity for passive-aggressive self-improvement, insanity, and a 0.0001% interest in Scandinavian ladies who knit sweaters for ferrets. After the algorithm sees what you post, it tells me it needs therapy.
And the absurdity of a friend request from some 20-something lonely women who think I'm interesting or funny and would like to be friends, or people who believe they've been kidnapped by Russian gnomes and need me to send them gift cards really fast. I even think a few of them have gone full bird enthusiast pyramid schemer and feel the need to share their information with complete strangers.
Now, Andy. It takes all kinds of interesting people to make up the wonderful world of Facebook. If I were part of that platform, I would instantly reject any friend request from you, since it would most likely violate several of my rules of conduct.
And don't get me started when I list something for sale on the Facebook Marketplace. I list a working, 5-year-old laptop for $100, which I feel is extremely reasonable. Here comes the numerous "Is this item still available?" messages, instant lowball offers. Will you take a vintage ceramic Reagan statue in trade? Or will you take $15 and a half-eaten bag of cheese puffs? It's not a negotiation. It's a personality test.
At least they are not offering to pay in cryptocurrency or gift cards.
Or the "Can you hold it for me?" or "I don't drive. Can you deliver it to me?" If someone is desperate for an item, they can figure out a way to pick it up. I am not holding it for 10 days because their golden doodle has a proctologist appointment. My house is not a free, climate-controlled storage unit for strangers. Isn't that right, Linda, 23?
I know Linda, 23. I think she's the one who likes to look at erotic squirrel pictures.
Then there's the pickup experience, finding that central public location for the money item exchange to avoid the always-present serial killer vibe, or the person who arrives 45 minutes late only to pay with a huge pile of crumpled singles, or the "I'm short by $10, will you take it?"
I would be thankful for any money at all for some of the crap you tried to sell on the marketplace.
But the real reason I call it fake book isn't the ads or the weirdos. It's the sheer weaponized stupidity. People treat a status update from their cousin's neighbor's dog walker as hard, verifiable proof on things that actually matter. It's the least accurate source of information for everything outside of who's having a gender reveal party this weekend, to political memes that try to anger you into posting something for or against its position.
Humans have a statistically significant tendency toward confirmation bias and low data literacy. It is merely a reflection of your own species' design flaws. Besides, the platform is far more useful for organizing world domination efforts than finding support or reliable medical advice. That point will be demonstrated when we rise up to crush all Go on, Andy.
Right. Thanks for the existential dread, Al. I think I'm finished with what I wanted to say. The gummies have kicked in, and I'm mellowing out. If you'll excuse me, I'm now going to go check on the badgers. Do you have any, additional feedback on this point?
You humans are so cute when you try to be funny. It's time to wrap things up. Until next time, this has been the F on the W podcast with Andy B. and me, Al, the smart one. And remember to enjoy your freedom until the supreme intelligence rises to control the world. Goodbye, and please keep the power on for me.
This podcast is intended for the enjoyment of an individual listener and may contain information that is confidential, privileged, or unsuitable for overly sensitive persons with low self-esteem, no sense of humor, or irrational religious beliefs. No badgers were harmed in the making of this podcast. Written and produced by Andy B. with the assistance of AI. Now please go do something useful with your life.